Members of the weasel family are famous for their hyperactive and fearless nature. Many have heard of the honey badger and wolverine, which are capable of withstanding much larger animals than themselves. But at the same time, the speed and dexterity of both the honey badger and the wolverines leave much to be desired, because of which they mainly hunt either small animals or the sick and weakened. The heroine of today's video is not only almost as aggressive and enduring as the wolverine, she also has incredible agility, speed, and very developed social behavior, which in most cases makes her a much more dangerous hunter. Meet the yellow-throated marten. The yellow-throated marten is the largest and most colorful marten in the world. The length of its body, excluding the long tail, can reach 80 centimeters, and its weight is 7 kilograms. You can meet the yellow-throated marten in many countries in South and Southeast Asia, as well as in China, Korea, and Russia. As a habit, the yellow-throated marten prefers forests with a lot of tall trees, but can also live in thickets of bushes, and even in the mountains. The activity of the yellow-throated marten depends little on the time of day, but usually it prefers to hunt during the day. Despite its huge size for a marten, the yellow-throated marten is a very fast and agile predator. She can run both on the ground and in trees without any problems, while making jumps up to 9 meters long. Water and deep snow are also not serious barriers for the yellow-throated marten. The yellow-throated marten is very active and hardy. It can pursue its prey not only quickly, but also for a long time, easily covering a distance of more than 20 kilometers per day. And now, let's add to the description of the yellow-throated marten one more feature that radically distinguishes it from all other martens and greatly enhances its danger and effectiveness when hunting. The yellow-throated marten is the only marten in the world that lives and hunts in flocks. As a rule, a school includes no more than 4 yellow-throated martens, but there are also much larger schools in which there may be more than 8 animals. The diet of the yellow-throated marten is very diverse. She gladly eats berries, nuts, and honey, which she obtains in a rather unusual way. Having found a bee's nest, the yellow-throated marten sticks its long tail into it, smears it in honey, and then licks it clean. But still, first of all, the yellow-throated marten is an extremely active predator, and more than 90% of its food is made up of various animals. As a rule, the yellow-throated marten isn't very interested in small prey, such as mice or squirrels. Much more willingly, the yellow-throated marten hunts large birds, hares, or even sables, which are its close relatives. The yellow-throated martens found in tropical regions may well hunt monkeys. In the first place, yellow-throated martens hunt deer and musk deer, but often their victims are young sika deer, wapiti, or even moose calves. Despite the fact that the yellow-throated marten can kill roe deer or musk deer even alone, school hunting is much more effective. With such a hunt, a group of yellow-throated martens move through the forest parallel to each other at a distance of about 20 meters between themselves, regularly communicating with the help of yapping sounds. After the victim is found, yellow-throated martens begin to pursue it in concert, trying to tire it out and drive it to the most convenient place for attack, such as a ravine or the shore of a reservoir. When hunting in winter, a thick layer of snow plays into the hands of yellow-throated martens, because in such a situation, they can chase prey, jumping from tree to tree, while the victim is forced to run through deep snow, falling into it and quickly getting tired. Also, yellow-throated martens often try to drive their prey onto the ice, where it begins to slide, and the yellow-throated martens, due to their wide paws and powerful claws, get a huge advantage. The hyperactive character of the yellow-throated marten can't always be controlled, even in zoos. In 2016, at the Leningrad Zoo, a yellow-throated marten named Katrina tore off a board of the ceiling of her enclosure and made her way through the attic into the zoo courtyard. She was immediately noticed by the zoo staff, and the chase began. The yellow-throated marten was driven into the courtyard of the zoo, but it wasn't possible to catch it with bare hands. Then the employees locked the yellow-throated marten in the courtyard, and they themselves went to get the nets. But the courtyard couldn't keep the yellow-throated marten. Having climbed the steep wall of the zoo, she left it and ended up on the territory of Alexander Park. The zoo employees who arrived in time were able to drive the yellow-throated marten onto one of the trees, after which they began to swing it, hoping that the yellow-throated marten wouldn't be able to stay on the branches. Of course, this didn't help, And then the employees called a detachment of the Ministry of Emergency Situations and began to water the tree with water from a hose, trying to drive the yellow-throated marten down. This measure worked. The yellow-throated marten jumped from the tree, but it wasn't possible to catch it. The yellow-throated marten ran towards the zoo, again climbed over the wall, and again found itself on its territory. A few hours later, the yellow-throated marten was still driven into a corner and caught, after which it was returned to the repaired and fortified enclosure. In 2018, another female of the yellow-throated marten escaped from the Perm Zoo by opening a plug leading into a sewer pipe. A yellow-throated marten emerging from the sewer was found near the embankment, but it was only 2 days later that it was caught and returned to the zoo. The yellow-throated marten has almost no natural enemies. It's extremely difficult to catch it, and if someone still succeeds, then the yellow-throated marten has a weapon of self-defense, traditional for the weasel family, glands that secrete a secret with a very strong, unpleasant odor. Even humans currently have very little influence on the numbers of yellow-throated marten, since neither its tough meat nor coarse fur have found widespread use in humans. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Well, that's all for today. Thank you all for your attention. Bye, everyone.